growing a true entrepreneurship rather than just a transportation business. We really want to have our companies set up in the proper format so that we can actually do business with the federal government. So that's what I aim to help young entrepreneurs do.
Welcome to NEMT Expert Talks. I'm excited today to have Willena McGee, the NEMT Startup Coach. Willena has built up a really solid YouTube channel called @NEMT Startup, where she provides lots of education, especially for NEMT businesses that, as the name suggests, are just starting up. She focuses on helping NEMT businesses create the right fundamentals and the right groundwork in terms of business structure and everything you need to do at the beginning to get from 0 to 1 and beyond. Willena, thanks so much for being with me. Would you like to do a quick intro of yourself?
Hi, yes, thank you for having me on. I really do appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and to learn more about what I offer and how we can further help each other during this journey of NEMT startups and beyond. I'm so excited to be here. But my name is Willena McGee. I am a NEMT startup coach / mentor / business advisor. I specialize in helping young entrepreneurs, NEMT entrepreneurs, set up the foundational portion of their businesses. Oftentimes, many entrepreneurs new to the NEMT space will want to take off and run by getting the van or the stretcher vehicle and just go forth. But I try to get you guys to step back and actually set up your business administrative side before you leap into the transportation side.
Awesome. Thanks for that intro, Willena. So I'm pretty excited to dive into today's topic, which is going to revolve around setting up the right business structure for when you're starting an NEMT company. At Bambi, we come across a lot of NEMT companies that are essentially just starting up their businesses. And we get questions about, hey, what kind of business structure should I set up? How should I go about it? The legal aspects of it. And Willena, you have a lot of expertise in this area. Please, without further ado, let's dive into your knowledge about getting business structures set up.
All right. So a little bit about my background. I'll just kind of lay the foundation so you guys understand. I've had several businesses as I've matured, starting small daycares, starting doing a little bit of foster care and all kinds of endeavors I have taken on. I did some legal nursing, and all of those were kind of practice to get me to the point where I thought I was ready to start a NEMT because I had others really small side hustles that I was dabbling in. And so I then decided when COVID-19, when the pandemic started to hit, that I would open up my own non-emergency medical transportation company also. And when I did, I wasn't very focused on it. I wasn't prepared for what I needed to really get done. There were not a lot of resources out there. We didn't have individuals like myself and other content creators, even like yourself, where they're getting more information. It just wasn't there. So I had to really rely on the very little experience that someone that I knew that was in the industry. He would give me a little nugget here or there, but just enough to get me confused again. And so working the pandemic as an RN, it was pretty difficult to set aside time to focus on what it required to be a business owner and to really research this industry. So flash forward, I got home from my journey as a travel nurse, and I began to focus in on my business. And when I did, I still didn't understand entrepreneurship. And not having that understanding of entrepreneurship, I was treating it as if I already was a big company. And by treating it as a big company, I wasn't considering managing my finances. I didn't have spreadsheets. I didn't have my ideas written down. I didn't have the goals set aside for my business. I had more of an action plan rather than a business plan set up for myself. And it just really became a mess. So eventually, I did quit my job to go full time into the business. And when I did, it was a rude awakening because I then started to understand and recognize what my driver was talking about. I began to see issues and cracks all throughout my business. I started having driver issues, vehicle issues, maintenance problems, and insurance problems. And now I no longer have my steady 9 to 5 income that was over 6 figures. So now I have to rely completely on my contract, which no one told me that it takes 30 days to receive the first payment on a contract. So I really had myself in a financial mess and a business setup mess. And I ended up pulling my vehicle and van out of service in order to reestablish. And when I went to go reestablish, I finally reached out to a business mentor, business coach for myself to help me when I was literally up to my neck in debt and mess. But he suggested that, I take some steps and contact, you know, some federal contracting agencies that help out with small businesses. He suggested that I get on YouTube to help other individuals to not get in this mess. And that's what I did. I started out pretty much vlogging um, my experience, where I pretty much tried to keep my tears in the whole time that I was rolling on those first few episodes, because I was literally going through bankruptcy from all of the financial things I had put myself in by just getting up and going. So a little bit fast forward, I started the channel. Things were going great. People started reaching out, emailing me, and asking me questions. And I was like, I know the answers to these. Wow. And from there, it just kind of grew. And I started to realize that I had an area of weakness, and that was in business, and an area of weakness in financing. So I decided to go to business school and started at Walden University, no affiliate, but started there at Walden University. And I have been really enjoying the information that I have been learning, and I have been doing everything in my willpower and power to convey that information on growing a true entrepreneurship rather than just a transportation business. We really want to have our companies set up in the proper format so that we can actually do business with the federal government. So that's what I aim to help young entrepreneurs do.
Willena, thanks for sharing that. It's a really inspiring story. Like, you went through all these struggles yourself. You saw a big sort of gap in the market for people educating about this, because you saw that it wasn't just you. A lot of people are facing the same struggles, and now you're helping all the new people. And NEMT is a fast-growing industry. New businesses are coming up all the time to meet all the demand in NEMT. They're all going to fall into the same traps unless there's someone like you saying, hey, I've been down that hole before. Let me guide you, right? So you're doing a real good service to the industry and helping to just help not only the NEMT businesses, but the industry as a whole by getting more NEMT businesses to the place they need to be to actually provide these critical medical transport services. So it's really great what you're doing. And your story really conveys that you are, one of the unique people that actually has the expertise and the ability to do this. You've been through all the struggles. You've equipped yourself with the knowledge, after going through those struggles, and now you have a pretty large and growing number of NEMT businesses as clients, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I am just so grateful and thankful. Again, just all of those individuals that have reached out to me, for help. I mean, today I was cleaning out my inbox, and I probably had from the time of last October, where the channel began to actually start to pick up, until now, I've had over 80, like 88 consultations, and actually I'm holding like 20 mentees right now, and we are ranging from Florida, Texas, Maryland, Pennsylvania, just, I mean, just all over. And it's just, and that's the one thing that I hear consistently with those that call me or email me, or take my coaching and mentoring service, is that, there's information there, but it's not structured, and it's not giving all of the information. And not because anyone or people don't want to give the information, it's because it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of diligence in finding the information. And again, taking a year off of nursing and going straight into this business, that's all I've had time to do, is to research this business, look up the NAICS codes, understand what NAICS codes are, understand what the SBA actually offers, understanding what government contracting is, understanding what brokers are and how they are entwined into the transportation industry, and just so many different business aspects that I've learned just by answering questions initially, and having to take it that step further to improve my own skill set. So it's been a wonderful journey. And again, the channel growth has been inspiring, because I didn't think anybody was going to listen to me.
Well, I've been listening, and it's pretty awesome. And for everyone watching, I'm putting Willina's channel link and her contact info in the description of this video. So Willina, obviously, creating a business structure, there are going to be particularities and nuances for different businesses. And that's why, they should speak with people who have gone through and know about it, like yourself. But like, just as sort of a high level overview of some tips, what can you tell our viewers about the things they should be thinking about in creating that business structure when they're starting out?
Okay. Number one, I tell all my mentees, all my coachees, the same thing. The United States is a capitalist society. Therefore, you have to structure your business to work within a capitalist society, which means you have to have your business government contract ready, which breaks down to having your business certified through the SBA, who holds all of the federal certifications. By doing this, you open up your business to not just having brokers that are your only accessibility to contracts. By doing this, you open up your business to other contracts, such as prison contracts and school contracts on the local level, just so, and just community contracts that are listed within the state and the local levels that you guys aren't really focused on right now, because you're so busy just trying to get that transportation side get set up. But I just strongly recommend that everyone just slow down. Slow down. It's not going anywhere. People are getting older every day. People are going to need help every day. This is a government funding sector that most likely will not go out of business anytime or soon, or not get funded. So slow down and structure your business the right way, so that you really give it an opportunity to grow and to scale.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fundamental and really important. Are there any particularities in, like, maybe different regions of the country, or the type of NEMT operation that you're looking to set up, that makes the questions different, like the questions that you have to think about in creating that business structure?
So there really isn't. Each state, okay, so there's no nationwide regulation on NEMT. Everything is state specific, but the states are structured pretty much the same. It's just knowing where to find the information, it's knowing where to look. So I try to give information out on the various videos that I do state by state, but I'll just share some. When you're first looking for the application on just determining whether or not NEMT is for you, because on the application, it's going to generally tell you how much insurance you're going to require. Some states don't, but most do. And tells you if there's vehicle requirements or driver's requirements. Sometimes there's a no certain criminal activities exclude you. So just looking at the application, and generally you can find those applications at online for your specific state with either the Public Service Commission or your Medicaid health department. So that's your starter, your starting place to find out how much this business is really going to cost you to get an idea about it. And then once you have that, again, with that business structure, setting it up to be certified through the SBA, the procedure is the same. It's just tedious and long. And so I'm having to break that down into sections with my students because it's a long process.
Yeah, yeah. So, Willena, can you do a bit of storytelling for us? So can you tell us like a story of an NEMT company who maybe didn't think about the business structure the right way and didn't do the legwork they were supposed to do, and how that turned out for them? Because I think it's important for our viewers to know the consequences of not putting in the effort into figuring this out right in the first place.
Yes, yes, yes. I actually have a client right now, and we just did an interview, so I know she's not going to mind me giving the information. Her name is Alicia. She is out of, her name of her business company, forgive me, is escaping my mind, but she's out of Illinois. And one of the things she did is, she has a business mindset, and she knew that she needed to get a mentorship or someone to help her along. So she did invest her time into a mentorship, but that mentorship focused on setting up the transportation side and the transportation side only. So what happened with her that I am seeing repeat on, and this is just the same story every single time. I can give you another one here in just a minute. But we one of the things that she did was she set up that transportation side. So when she called me, she's like, okay, I have something's not right here because I have this broker list, I have this van, I have this insurance payment, and I've got this application to the impact office, and I got this payment to make. and, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm truly, truly sorry because you're going to have to make them payments and we're going to have to backtrack and do X, Y, Z.
And
And
how
so,
much are those payments, if you can share?
oh my goodness. I want to say she's in for, I want to, I don't get me wrong, but I want to say she's in for about almost $1,800 a month. $1,200 for the vehicle, and I can't even remember what the van was, the
Yikes.
insurance was, but it's close to $2,000 a month. And it's just a very stressful situation for her. And I understand because I was in the same situation, a very stressful situation because now she's under the gun because, funds are drying up after you've expended so much to get all of these processes underway. And you've had to pay for drivers to get certified. You've had to pay for the vehicle inspections. You've had to pay for the pass programs and all the other things that go along with getting your transportation side set up. And then to find out that the reason why these brokers are not contacting you is because your business is not government friendly. Your business has to be SBA certified for them to really give your business a chance. Without that, you're competing against every fish in the ocean. By getting that certification, you're only competing with the big fish. So it makes it a little bit easier for the smaller guy to slip through. So
Yeah.
that's where I try to get my NEMT entrepreneurs to understand, coming into this business, is that it is not, that's one incident, that's one story with Alicia. And then I just had someone a couple of days ago who had reached out to me because she was in, I believe, North Carolina, and she had gotten all this transportation side once again up and going. And she was like, they won't allow me to use my personal vehicle for my commercial insurance. What do I do? And I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to put that personal vehicle into the business, you know, because she had 30 days to do so. Her application had pretty much been approved with North Carolina. The insurance, everything was pretty much approved, and she was an ambulatory vehicle on top of that, getting approved in North Carolina with one ambulatory vehicle. I'm like, you better hurry up and jump on that because the rules are changing. You got to do what you got to do on this one. So we had, again, it just goes to show that, having a mentor and having someone who can advise your business during that startup process is beneficial. One more, I had one of my coachees who actually threatened me with saying that he was going to set up an S corp, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Please don't set up an S corp right away. And the reason why is because S corps are not for everyone. They need to be. You need to really speak with your tax advisor before setting up an S corp, because the disadvantage to that versus an LLC is that with an LLC, you pay yourself as a member out of that LLC. However, as a S corp, you have to pay yourself a check. You have to issue yourself a check, which then that is now taxed, and then you're taxed again for having the LLC. So you're double taxing yourself by starting up in as a completely new startup as an S corp. So really, really, really find out if you're thinking about doing an S corp. Talk to your tax advisor first.
Well, Lena, these are obviously the most fun things to think about and do when you're starting an NEMT business. But they also happen to be some of the most important things, especially if you get them wrong, then they become, unfortunately, too important.
That's right.
And I think you would probably agree that rather than trying to figure out this, all on your own with online resources can point you in the right direction on what to think about. But I think a lot of people could use help, directly from someone who's gone through it
Yes.
in successful ways and unsuccessful ways, and has just seen a lot of NEMT companies go through this process and can point out all the traps. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your story with our viewers. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be including your link to your YouTube channel and your website and your contact information in the description of this video. Willena, is there any more thoughts that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Absolutely. I understand and I know that my content is so boring and the information is like,
I'm gonna
but
disagree with you on that one,
but
respectfully.
thank you. But it is truly educational. And if you pay attention, I tell everybody, take off a bite, chew, digest, and then come back for another round so that you really set your business up the right way. And I'm always just an email, text, phone call, Facebook group, whatever, a way to reach out to me for a one-on-one consultation, and then come on board and get this mentorship, because It's not going to be available at the price that it is right now. I have my manager; he's already fussing at me about that. So you guys come on, get it in while it's still very, 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 very reasonable.
And Willena, I just want to emphasize that I really appreciate how easily accessible you are. I mean, the way we got in touch was just so simple and easy. You know, I just messaged you on Facebook, and you're a really accessible person. Willena, thanks so much for your time and being with us.
Run, Bambi, run. Go ahead, Bambi.
Awesome. Thanks, Willena.
Awesome.